Hey, it's your boy Big Cat. We back here with another episode of the Safe Space Podcast. Very special guest today. Uh, this person has played like a significant part of my childhood. You know, from a friend standpoint of view, I could truly say this man is my brother. Um, we walked to school together. I done stayed with the man when I needed to. He put bread in my pocket, put food in my stomach, when I didn't have it. This when we define the term friend, especially people that you don't talk to every day, this man is the epitome of it. But with all further, with no further ado, we got my boy Mo Bird, Maurice Bird. What's happening, bro?
What's going on? Nothing much, brother.
Yeah, man.
It's kind of hard to like come after, you starting off like that. It's like a comedian coming on stage and it's like, and you just come from that, man. It's like, bro, you hit me in the soft spot already.
Dog, I told you, I'll be deep. I'll be deep.
I feel that. That's real, man.
Oh,
if anything, majority of it is mutual. It ain't even, just the one side of it. It's like, bro, you've done for me the exact same shit that I've done for you. It's just like that's what brothers are. You know what I'm saying? You do. It's a reciprocation type thing. That's all it really is, man.
No, man, that's absolutely true. And, that's why today's so special, dog, because it's like, bro, we've been in the trenches together. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's crazy, man.
We rode the city bus. We rode the city bus in the wintertime to go pick up your check. Just so we both could get high and drunk on the bus.
Out here getting blunt.
Getting blunt, man.
We come a long way. We come a long way. That's a term only me and you will know.
Yeah.
That was the time of what me and
you. We'll touch on that one a little bit more in depth later. Yeah, man. That's why, I wanted to create this. That's why I love doing this podcast thing, man. Like I really get the people I love, they flowers in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm intentional with everything that I say. It's realistic. Like I shared with you before, I suck at like scripts. I suck at like practicing this. Like everything that I talk about is off the dome. Like, and it's truly from the heart. So that was no different, bro. That was no different. But we gonna have some fun tonight. We got a 3-hour time zone difference. So like even for you to be here, to make time to be here, man, I just want you to know I sincerely appreciate that. I'm a person that values time extremely. And for you to make time, taking time out your schedule here, I appreciate that.
Definitely.
But we'll start off light, man. What's been good in your world, bro? What you been up to, dog?
Man, this is, if anything, it's just more of a life-changing experience because of the simple fact that, I came from, just dedicating literally everything to just working. And it's just like, I built so much of just coming from just me to going to now I got 2 kids now, and it's just like
right. Yeah.
I got the best of both worlds. So it's like I'm living for 2 different types of lives.
Yeah.
I got a boy and a girl. The boy, he's my son, he's older. Maurice, he's actually a junior, obviously, but and my daughter, my baby girl, that's her. She is actually more of the motivation because she's a woman, and it's just like, coming from birth, you start off from, you want to try to do everything for the lady in your life. Well, my son, like I give him the same type of love, but it's more of him coming from the standpoint of where I came from, but just the easier route. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to direct him towards that. But at the same time, I want him to go through the stages so that once he get to that point, he'll be able to know how to like make certain directions, make certain exact, choices, and it won't, it won't fault him. He'll get in a certain situation in his point in his life where he won't be like, oh, well, I don't know what to do. And it's like, because I've been there, and I don't want him to have to go there and be like making rational decisions like, oh, well, I'm just gonna do this then. And it put him in a bad situation because I done been there and I don't want him to go do that.
And I think that's every parent's intention. You know, like I feel like even the worst of parents, you know, or I'm going to say the people that are in the worst of situations that happen to be parents have the greatest intentions. Don't get me wrong. There's some messed up people out there. Like, and we've all been exposed to messed up people in one way or another, you know, including blood. But I think as I've grown, like I've really understood that part of it. Hurt people, you know, if people aren't taught, they really don't know what to teach, you know. So you got like the blind leading the blind, you know, you're just recycling the same BS. And that's our intentions as adults, as guardians, as parents, like is always
because that's the only thing that we know, you know what I'm saying? We know what we see. So it's like if there's nobody in your life to be able to put you in that position, like you can be all that you literally want to be, but if you just see like nothing but failure, then you just leading straight towards that. So,
and I think sometimes that's what's hard, man. Like there's so many variables that really dictate how you get the parent that sometimes it's tough. You know, like I look at a lot of people in our age group, they just, whether like communication is issue, whether it's, you know, they're on child support and they can't communicate with the, you know, with the baby mom or the baby dad or whatever, like whatever it is, man, like we get thrown so many damn curveballs toward. That's really why I wanted to do this. I like letting people know, like, bro, you not messed up. You're not really broken. You're not wrong. And that's on both sides because even today, you know what I'm saying? I was at work and I was talking to my coworkers regarding like being a team. And I'm like, you know, at the end of the day, there's only so much we can try and do as individuals, you know, to try and influence and bring people on board. It really comes down to self, you know, a person being accountable for their actions or lack of action and wanting to be a part of something bigger. That's really the tough thing. Like it's really getting people to realize, yeah, but it's bigger than us. Like it's really like, in some cases, I can only speak for myself. So in my case, it finally clicked earlier this year. Like I had already bought this equipment last year when we moved here. But I remember this was even before Mel Robbins, but I remember just waking up one morning and like, you know what, bro? I ain't never listened to what nobody said before. That's why I went through the experiences that I did. So why should now?
Experience is the best teacher.
Yeah, you know,
especially if you don't have that one person to tell you, like, no, that's not the way to go. Don't do that. You know. But with you being young, you still gonna be like, well, I want to try to figure it out on my own. But
it's funny that you say that. You know, my little sister, she just went away to college, and she turned 18 back in January. So you know, she's an adult, and I forgot what we were having a conversation about. I believe her friend was trying to get her to go to the East Side. It's like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And so, you know, moms weren't having that. She like, on Friday? East Side? What?
At night? Nah.
Yeah, you know, and Janaya, she got her L's and everything now. But I was, you know, transparently, I was on board with my mom. Like, no, she ain't going to the East Side. Like, I know what happened on the East Side. You know what I'm saying? I'm a true East Side. You know what I'm saying? Like, East Side, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to say anything bad. I love the East Side. But
this is different though. It's not like the same like being in other places, especially at night.
Bro, 9, 10 o'clock at night as a female in Detroit on the East Side.
It ain't even just that, like literally anywhere. You can't really just be in certain places at night as a female.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all.
Not.
Literally. Long story short, what ended up happening was Kiana ended up having a conversation with me, and she like, y'all trying to baby her, y'all trying to shelter her. It's not going to stop her from doing what she wants to do. At the end of the day, Some people just want to learn from experience. That's the beauty of choice. I don't care if you're looking at like being in America. I don't care if you look at it like religiously, you know, God giving us choice or free will. It
Your free
all
will.
comes
Exactly.
down to choice. And I ended up having that conversation with my little sister maybe about like a week ago. And we kicked it. And I told her, you know, Kiana's point of view and how she, you know, persuaded me to open my mind up a little bit more. And she totally agreed. She's like, that's exactly how I think. She's like, I understand your intentions are great and you want to save me. You know, you want to keep me from going through certain stuff. But she's like, at the same time, I need you to trust that everything that I was taught coming up, that I'm able to apply and carry myself a certain way. And at that point, I'm like, shit, man, what? I have no
It's not
reason.
really, it's not really much to worry about because obviously she knows that she's listened to literally everything that you told them, you know, and just, you know, everything that you've taught them, you know, it's just like they know. And you just got to go off of faith at that point because you can't really just try to tell them like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you do this.
Yeah, she wasn't trying to hear that.
They're going to be like, right, because they're going to be like, nah, because, you know, you're old and, you know, I'm younger. Things are different.
That's when somebody with an iPhone, you're just going to get blocked.
Right. And this is like...
That's one of those features I loved about the iPhone. Android hit it too, but iPhone, boy, I ain't gonna lie. iPhone make it so easy to block somebody. You'll get.
I mean, well, with Android, you can still press a little button, boom, you're right there, and that's the block list. So as soon as you call or send a message, that message won't come.
That's
in.
What I'm saying. It go into the block. Yeah, they got to go look at the block messages. Yeah, that's how it was. I remember that. I just honestly, I just switched back to iPhone, man. Like, matter of fact, when we was at Crossroads, that was when I like I had the first iPhone then, and then I had the first iPhone when I stopped going to Crossroads when I enlisted in the Army. That was the first phone that I had. That was the last iPhone I had too, because I was like, yo, I ain't with this at all. But then, like, you know, my job, my teammates, they more so operate off iPhone and the group chats and blah 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 blah. So I converted. I ain't gonna lie, but we'll see. Yeah, man, but going back, fatherhood, bro. Like, I just knew you weren't gonna be the one to have no damn kids out of all of us. Between me, you, Chris, Arthur. Hell, I think Kenny got one? He got a kid or two kids.
I think he got one now, probably. Yeah, I mean, but if anything, it's just like I always knew I wanted to be a father since I was a kid. You know, so it was just like, if anything, I used to actually, this is crazy because like I used to always think like, I wish I actually had a kid when I was 18. Like most people would be like, no, I wouldn't have no kid till, you know, I'm 30 plus. And it's like, yeah, I get that. But at the same time, I look at it as a sense like with my father being absent, you know, since I was 3, you know, he was killed and everything. But, you know, since with me not having that, it's just like once I got to a certain age, I used to be like, dang, if once I turn, you know, even into like double digits, like turning 10, it's like, oh, you know, I want to get on the court with them, or you know, get out in the field, play catch, wild. You know, just certain things like that. I want to be able to do that with my kids.
You know, it's funny.
That's why
that was something that I dealt with personally, like, and it hit me home like the same way that it hit you, maybe different circumstances, but that was probably one of the most difficult parts of recovering from cancer, dog. Like, no lie, because I was like, when a doctor told me I wouldn't be able to run again, when he told me I wouldn't be able to play sports like basketball, I wouldn't be able to swim, I'm like, well, damn, like, you know, that's everything that a man wants to do with his son. So I'm thinking, like, then he started talking to me like, yeah, you know, the implant will probably be good for 15 years, and then you'll be potentially stuck in a wheelchair. And I'm like, damn, well, do I really want to do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, because those things actually matter to me, you know, especially like around that time when we were at Crossroads. Were we at Crossroads? Yeah, we were probably at Crossroads around this time. Like when she, you know, when I went through everything with her having an abortion back then. Yeah, I think we were in a process of where I left Crossroads. That was when I just said I was done with school. But that, you know, that played a lot. That played such a huge part, man. And it wasn't until like the past couple of years that I really had to really take ownership of what that was actually doing to hinder me throughout, like, not only my relationship, not only my marriage, but like my life. You know, I was really like thinking in a way to where I was really like, yo, if you can't give me this, I'm gonna either find it from somewhere else, or I'm just not gonna be, I'm not gonna deal with you.
Yeah, well, eventually it was probably just going, you know, make the right. It was going to lead you to the right decision.
Shit, I ain't gonna lie,
Obviously, with
bruh, it'd be rough out here.
I mean, yeah, I get that. I get that.
Yeah, but
But
I'm
you know,
thankful.
yeah, because I mean, if anything, it still leads all the way back to decisions, your choices.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and your choices is what gonna build you to the person that what we are today.
that's true. Well, going back, let me ask you this question: who do you credit, or where do you credit your work ethic from? Because as long as I've known you, dog, you have forever been a workhorse. Like, I remember at one point you were working 2 jobs, like, while we were going to school.
Man, I mean, to be honest, like my mom, man, she was like a serious, solid person, man. It was
OG,
just like,
OG, yeah,
I could literally like off of just seeing how much she worked so hard, and it's just like seeing how we came up, and it was just like not the way how it should have been, but she literally did the best she could,
yeah,
and then like I honor her for that. Like if it wasn't for her, I honestly probably like if I didn't have that to look at, it'd be like, dang man, well, I'm just gonna eat off of her, you know. I'm gonna
yeah,
piggyback off of what she do. But no,
yeah.
it's like with me being her only son, it's like I felt like I was obligated to take on that role. That's why like throughout my life, I've been trying to go through certain paths and everything to like I like before like once right out of high school, you know, I was think about being a football player. Like, man, I want to
Yeah,
buy her the house, get her the
yeah,
cars, you know, all of that. And it's like that didn't work out. So I had to go, all right, get back to work, you know, get back to the grind, you know, working, all of that. But it's like seeing how hard she worked, taking care of 5 kids and stuff, and it just realized like that is difficult. It really is. It literally
and by
is.
herself
It
though.
takes a yeah. I mean, it was times that she did it by herself, but then you know my stepdad came in the picture.
Yeah.
You know, God rest his soul. You know, he passed. You know, not too long. It was probably around I say about 2 years ago. But
Oh
you know,
wow,
he
I
was
didn't
a
even know
solid.
that.
Yeah, he was a solid dude for her. I felt like that was like somebody that should have really been in her. That was God's work. You know, and he the one that made her. You know, at peace, if anything, you know, because you know he took a weight off her shoulder, and
Yeah,
that seeing that too also, you know, created me a little bit more too, because it kind of like branched me out to in the mindset like, wow, man, you would never think like a guy would take on the role of, you know, he didn't have any kids, you know,
yeah,
and he would take on a role like, you know, this woman has 5 kids. Let me come and try to make things easier for her. Let me try to build with
yeah.
her. You know what I'm
Very,
saying? And he
very
did
noble.
everything he could. Yeah. And especially having like my 4 sisters, man, they crazy. All of them crazy. And it's like, man, dealing with that. I mean, I was probably like the one of the best kids he didn't really have to worry about because like I
Yeah,
didn't come with like drama and all of that.
right, right.
If I did have my little issues that I was dealing with, I didn't bring it home. It was just like that was in the streets, you know, and it was just like I come home and it was just like just me, you know.
But
But
bro, even think about like the trauma. Like your mom has went through mad trauma. Like to know that, you know, she lost your dad
yeah,
when you were young,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden she takes a leap of faith, jumps back into love. You know what I'm saying? Allows this man to have her heart build. You know what I'm saying? Bring him into your fold, and then
hmm
all of a sudden she unfortunately faced the same fate. Like I know that's got to be wild, man.
man. And it's honestly painful to me because it's
Yeah,
like I try to do what I can to be able to, you know, fill that gap, but it's like only I can do so much. You know what I'm saying? I
that's
wish I
true.
could do more. I honestly wish I could just give her everything I got. That way she don't gotta work. Cause
Yeah,
like when I look at my daughter, it's like, man, I don't it hurts me to, you know, and that was another thing too, because like with my mom, man, she she ain't play. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to get my ass whooped. Like when I say whooped, bro, man,
We ain't
that
even gonna go there,
actually.
bro. I know all too well.
I mean, I do not like back then. I was like, oh, she don't
Yeah,
like me, but it's like, no, she was trying to keep me because she was playing a father and mother role.
yeah,
So it's like she was trying to care for me, but keep me strong at the same time, and she did
yeah,
the greatest job. Because honestly, man, without her, I probably would be doing the worst right now. You
yeah.
know what I'm
I
saying? So,
I started thinking this way, bro. I started saying like, if the way my mother treated me and raised me when I was growing up, if that led to the version of me that I am now, like not to say that, because of the way I grew up, like that's how I am now, but it like molded me to where I had like certain morals and values that our peers didn't have, or that other people, growing up with didn't have. Um,
mhm.
and it got me here. You know what I'm saying? The good and the bad, because like, I'm naturally loud, bro. I'm naturally loud. You know what I'm saying? Like my laugh is loud. My laugh is stupid loud. Like so. And I talk with my hands. I'm very emotional. I'm very interactive when I'm passionate about something. I know how to articulate these things now that I'm, grown, and I've found myself and I'm understanding these things about me.
Mhm.
But when you dealing with like a partner and they ain't used to that, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of come from a 2-parent household.
Mhm.
So a lot of the stuff that we talk about, like as far as absentee fathers and all of that, she don't resonate with that.
Yeah,
You know what
because
I'm saying?
he
Even though
was
she
there.
doesn't, yeah, but even what I've learned is even in those situations, somebody can be physically there, but not, be there in the way that, the
Emotionally
individual
there.
sees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, whatever it is, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. That happens. Like I said, it comes with growth. And through conversations, we just learn to like leave it behind. Like, bro, that's a previous chapter. That's why I end up having to tell my mom, like, it took for me about a good 6 to 8 months to really hammer it in. Like, yo, you thinking that I'm mad at you about something that happened in the past? Little do you know, like, I got mad respect for you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I've like through me bettering myself and gaining a better understanding about what it is to be an adult, what it is to be a parent, even though I don't know what it's like to, be a parent, but um to
You learn.
really, yeah, I mean, like, it's one of those things. You know what? And I'll touch on that later too, man, because my next question for you is
Mm-hmm.
going to be, um, what I want to go in depth, if you don't mind, regarding like you always wanting to be a father. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
how did your dad not being there, affect you? If you don't mind sharing that.
Shit, man. I mean, shoot. I mean, I probably shouldn't have said
No,
it,
you
but either way,
good.
like if anything, it's like
Curse button.
it's like with certain things, like just like simple things, just being there, having that conversation, or like if I had a certain type of decision that I thought about making, I would want to run that across him, So since I'm the son of him, like the rebirth of him all over again, it's like I want you to tell me with this decision I'm thinking about making, give me an opinion,
Yeah.
or like like where we come from, like certain
Oh man. Yeah.
like just the like our background, our family, it's just
Yeah.
it's simple things, what I'm saying? It wasn't even more of, oh, he didn't buy me nothing, or
Yeah, it's
he
it's
didn't
never
take
that.
me nowhere.
Yeah.
That stuff is simple. That's like simple little things to me. Like when it comes to like majority of it, it was just like seeing who I am. It kind of like will help me be like more intuitive of, okay, well, he's like this and he made these decisions in life. And it's like, why did you make those decisions?
Yeah.
Like when you made those decisions, what thoughts was going through your head? You know what I'm saying? That way I could be able to be like, all right, well, we can piggyback off of that. Like, well, you could have did that if you wanted to, really.
Right.
What fought you from being able to be like, oh, I actually want to shoot for the stars, but I decided to just keep the roof over the head,
Yeah.
like the minimum of it. Because a
Yeah.
lot of times, like with people, and well, I would say like, well, for me, I don't really like limit myself. Like a lot of times, like people will be like, well, I can't really do this because this person told me like, oh, I can't do, you can't do that. Okay, why I can't? Because you couldn't.
Right.
Like my dad, yeah, he probably didn't, but that wasn't because somebody told him he couldn't. It might have been like something like he broke his ankle, so he either couldn't play football. That could have been like the decision right there,
Yeah,
or
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like what was it that I started saying? I started looking at world records. I wanted to make sure I didn't stutter when I said that, because that's a tough one for me to say. I ain't even gonna lie. But records are in place because someone placed a limitation, and then the next person comes along that has a little more determination, a little more effort, and they break the record. They break the record, even if it's in the most. I told you that's why I don't like think about stuff, man. I hate that.
I feel you though.
Even if it's down to like the fraction of a second, you know what I'm saying? Like, you broke the record.
Yeah.
And then, so on and so forth. That's a repetitive thing. And I started thinking about that in regards to, like I said, health, like at least my health. I'm going to say in regards to my health. I just was like, I'm tired of being fat. I truly started to feel fat, like fat. Like I was 321 pounds before I made the decision to just start losing weight. And I just woke up. I was like, yo, I got a swimming pool. I got a gym. I got a gym in my garage. I got a punching bag in my garage. Why are you still fat?
Got everything you need. You got everything you need.
I can walk. Why are you still fat? Like
you're waking up every day.
Yeah, like, man, like every day is an opportunity to be like a better version of you. And there were other things that played into it, like the pandemic. Like it really did affect me mentally, if I'm being transparent. But I started to realize that we have control over how we identify the emotions that we're feeling and how we react to them.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have the ability to control our mind and feeling what we're feeling. It's not really something that we have control over. Some days you just wake up and you just don't feel like it. You just don't feel like dealing with the world. You don't have control over that. But what you have control over is how you operate when you're feeling that. Okay, is this depression? Am I just feeling lazy? Did I not get enough sleep? Like, what is it? Identify
it's just a mental mind state. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. Like, I think there was a chart earlier that I was watching this video on like the top 5 things that we need, to really push ourselves. And it was saying 70% of our roadblocks are psych-wise. They're mental. 30% is like the actual willpower to do it. It's actually limitations and whatnot. But that made sense to me. That really did, because I can't tell you how many days I woke up like, nah, man, I ain't gonna go to the gym today. Or I ain't gonna go to the gym this morning. I'm gonna go to the gym later on. Even last night, what I do last night, me and you was kicking it. I'm like, hey, I'm supposed to go to the pool. Just let you know. Right, just let you know. I didn't.
Say, do you really want to go? I was going to go ask you too. Like,
nah, dog. Look. I ended up at Native Wings with a pound of boneless strips and a pizza, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I had to wake up this morning. Like, yeah, man, let's just get it. But I did wake up this morning and I just went for it, and it felt good, man. It really felt great. I ended up taking the dogs out. Met a neighbor that I had met before, so that was real cool. But just in a nutshell, bro, I've learned to really embrace the journey. Don't question it. You know what I'm saying? Like, really be ready and willing to change where need be.
Yeah, because I mean, if anything, you just got to get outside of your comfort zone. A lot of times, people will just tell you like, it's literally something that you can't do. Like, how can you tell me what I can't do just because you can't do it? Like, you just got to set that up in your own mind. Like, I can literally do whatever it is that I want to do. I got to just believe that. As long as I believe it, I can literally make it happen.
To show all the people out there in the world that was doubting me when I was wearing shorts with Timbs in the wintertime and walking to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure wrong.
Man, you know how many times this man right here, when we was in high school, it could be in the wintertime. This man will have shorts on. The only guy in the world probably in this be like, you know what? I'm gonna throw some shorts on with some Timbs. People like, they ain't cold.
So fun fact, bro, all the people that know me in Minnesota at the call center that I worked at when I started working for Capital One, that's what I was known for. I wasn't wearing no coat, dog. I'm like, I ain't wearing no coat, G. I ain't cold. I stay hot.
See, like you were like
my pores open up.
You like a different run hot. Like I run hot too, but
yeah,
I would have to wear pants when it's cold out. I would rather wear pants and a long sleeve, and I probably won't have a coat on.
No.
But having the shorts on, you know, that's it. I'll mess up my whole body temperature.
No, I'd be at work with a couple sweat towels. I'd be like, "Hey, this is my sweat towel. Don't toss it." I had like 3 cups of water back to back to back. Like, hey, I gotta cool down. Like, don't say nothing to me for like the first half hour because you know I'm hot, and it's already hot out here. So I'd be hot. Like, we got like spotlights and everything in the ceiling. It'd be too much, man. It'd be OP for me. It do,
man. Yeah, that's a different type of weather out there, man. All I really mainly know is Michigan, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the cold. Like the worst that we deal with is the cold, and I'm cool with that. Like that being hot all year round.
Bro, I'm gonna deal with that. I'm gonna touch on this while I make my point in regards to what you were talking about. But I made the decision. I was done with the cold. 2 things happened. There was an ice storm in Minnesota in like February of 2018. And it took me 4.5 hours to get to work. Why I didn't call off? I don't know, dog. No, look.
I probably wouldn't have been there, man.
Bro, I'm not kidding.
4 hours?
We were going 3 miles an hour up the highway. 3 miles an hour. And when I got to work, I already had an attitude. So then my boss was like, bro, I got to work. I did like 2 hours of work, and my boss was like, yeah, you can probably go ahead, head back home. Just in case it's bad.
Tell me, I came all the way out here 4 hours. And you want me to go home for 4 more hours?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be more mad going.
But I was glad. No, I was glad though, because it was just as. Matter of fact, it was worse. There were like people spun off on the road. Like, man, Minnesota is crazy when it comes to like the cold, but it's extremely hot too. Like, so it's just like Michigan, but it's colder. Like, I say on average, maybe 10 to 15 degrees colder than what we had in Michigan. It was like negative. It was like negative 47 one day in Minnesota, and I was like, no more. Then her car got stuck in the driveway, and I was like, it got so stuck, like her exhaust and everything was imprinted in the snow. And I was like, yeah, I think it's time for a change, big dog. Like, I think I'm about to take my talents to South Beach like LeBron did. Like, no, I can't deal with this cold no more.
He said, I think I'm about to go to South Beach. I can't deal with the cold no more.
I'm good. I'm good, man.
Yeah, I only been out there in Minnesota. I actually took that trip. I
remember,
but
I do.
We took that trip. We took a little family trip out there to Minnesota. It was cool, man. I ain't never really I didn't know what to expect, and it was decent weather and all that. But it actually got real hot, and I was like, I don't know if I could deal with this.
Yo, that's what I be telling people. So everybody think that Minnesota is just cold. Minnesota gets extremely
that's
hot.
what you would think. It's just like,
because it's extremely humid. It's extremely humid there. Like July, August. Come on, man, stop.
Because like we ended up going to we had a room. I don't remember where the room was at, but it was not too far from Mall of America. But it was like walking distance. But that little walk all the way there, I'm like, man,
make you rethink
I need somebody to carry me, man. I was sweating bullets. Like I said, I run hot. It was like, man, I'm over here sweating bullets.
So remember how I told you? We ran into DeAndre in the mall, right? So at that time, I was transitioning from a wheelchair to a cane. So I don't like crowds of people. I don't like crowds of people. So I was already freaking out. It was a busy day in the mall. I hate the Mall of America with such a passion. You couldn't pay me to go in that joint right now, bro. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. But dog, like she
It
saw
was
me,
crazy in there though.
and I was just like pouring down, just like matter of fact, here go a funny for you. Remember that day when my mom roasted us when she came to pick me up from Jared crib, and we was both playing basketball. We we both was playing basketball shirtless, and she was like, "What is y'all doing?" Like, first of all, don't even come for either one of us like that. You already know it ain't nothing like that popping over here.
Right. It just looked it wild, but
she was so sincere when she said it too. Like, what is y'all doing? Both of y'all got y'all shirt off and y'all sweating. Like, it's hot.
It ain't nothing like that. It's hot out.
Playing ball outside, like
right.
probably had some spicy ramen before then, but
Sweating out all that
flavor.
salt.
If
That's
you
all it
question
really was.
Oriental or shrimp flavor, that was my whole thing.
Mine was beef. I don't know about that, man. I'm on beef.
Shout out to Jared crib, because Jared crib was where all the ramen was. That was the spot where all the ramen was.
Time, man.
Like, I didn't even care about being the tag along. Blowhead chicks in the crib smashing and all that. I'm in the living room. Give me the remote, couple bowls of ramen. I'm good.
Man. That was honestly, because like that was honestly another point in my life that was like really just important to me, you know, from being at Jared's, you know, being to Denzel's house, being to Marcel's house. It was like those were different stages that created me, because like once I was, you know, at Jared's house, you know, that actually helped me with my mental, you know. It was just like, you know, his mom, you know, Tia, she was like a mom to me too, you know. And she
treated you like family too, which was a blessing.
Man, she treated me like, her and Michael treated me like, they come at me, where you got homework? Go get to it. I don't care what you about to do, go get to it. Yeah. Man, I was trying to get me, all right, I go get to it, you know. Go and do that. You know, that was around the time when I was at Chaps actually too. You know, but then, you know, go over there to Marcel's, you know, and that was another stage that kind of like built a certain type of growth in me, because it kind of connected back to like a younger part of me. Because, you know, his mom, she didn't play either, you know, so she was like, she used to take us to church, and I used to get the word there, and it was just like, man, I actually loved that church that they used to go to. I honestly couldn't think of the church. I was actually I was talking to one of my friends about this too. I was like, man, this is one church I used to go to, and it was a great church, man. It was just like the build up of it, and it used to just get you to where you need to be to make you feel good. You know, that feel good
black church
in your soul, you know. Yeah.
Black church be honestly, entertaining, seriously. Bro. Like, it'd be like a black church is a show. Like, and I mean that with no disrespect, but like that build up that you're talking about, it'd be like, okay, opening prayer be lit. Then it'd be like altar prayer lit, tithes and offering, maybe take a step back a little bit for the people that ain't got that bread. You know what I'm saying? Then you get into like the praise and worship for a little bit. And then you go into like the sermon. Then it'd be like a sermon with praise and worship. And then like, it just be boom, like it'd be levels to it. So I know what you mean. I definitely
know. And then like you know, like that point in my life helped me be able to help me see myself, you know what I'm saying, a little bit. I mean, obviously I was still young, so I was still making young decisions and stuff like that. But you know, it was like on more of a long term, in the back of my head, I need to get back to that. It was like jotting notes in my head, like, all right, well, let me make sure I not forget this stage in life, you know, because these things is what actually, these, you know, spots in life is what actually help build the character of what I'm going to become, you know. And then once I ended up over there at Denzel's house, it was like, he was like my brother that I've known since I was like 5, you know. And, you know, his brother Brian and, you know, my Uncle Roger, you know, they was friends. And then they kind of brought us together. And then me and him used to do the same things that they did. They was like our, you know, our teachers at the time. And it was just like, oh, they doing this. Oh, we need to do that, but do it better, you know, type thing. And we used to, like, the certain things that we used to do, we used to like compete with each other. But it was like not on a, oh, I'm better than you thing. It was just like, I'm gonna build you and you gonna build me. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was just like those stages in life. Once I, you know, going through that, it was just like, man, those are milestones that honestly took me to where I honestly need to be. And it was just like, man, like I wouldn't take back not a day with
Yeah,
none
not
of
at
those
all.
days, none of those
Yeah.
moments, and none of that. Because like we had great moments, just like how me and you had. It was just like it's like
Dog,
the
I'll tell you what,
connection that
like
we all had. Type thing.
that was dope to have a sense of belonging because like even though me and Miles, 4 years apart, um dog, we had to click. Oak Red was like where it was at, man. And we wasn't on no bull. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Like Oak Red, we wasn't on
right.
no gang stuff. Like we weren't doing all of that. You know
It
what I'm
was
saying?
like a
It was just it
brotherhood,
was
like our
us,
own little fraternity.
bro.
You know,
It was just us, and it's crazy
yeah.
how like life takes us all in different directions. But the true friendships they survive, man.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I sincerely commend you for that. You did more for more people than you actually understand. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that I ain't the only one that end up having this conversation with you. I'm hoping maybe Kenny or Denzel, somebody had this conversation, somebody, watched this or hear this and they actually had these necessary conversations, because I know stuff ended abruptly, but we'll say that for another time. I was gonna go back to what you were saying as far as like what you missed, with your father not being present. And I like to play devil's advocate, so I'm gonna tell you my side of the spectrum. My dad stayed with us up until I was like 9 or 10. That was when we left Detroit. My dad was a provider, you know what I'm saying? So we had nice things, you know what I'm saying? We probably the only thing we could probably say we didn't have growing up was like Jordans. It just wasn't something my mom went into it. She like, y'all be tearing stuff up. I don't see the value in that.
Yeah.
But we had the stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like we had Carl Kanai, we had Nike, you know what I'm saying? Like I look back at the stuff we had, bro. We was lit. You know what I'm saying? To be a poor kid in Detroit, like to be supposedly a poor kid in Detroit, like we grew up lit. But my dad, although he provided physically, he provided monetarily, those intangibles, same thing like you were looking for, I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like the lessons that you kind of expect to learn from a father. Hell, I never even had like the sex conversation. You know what I'm saying? I never had that conversation with him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
try having that conversation with your mama though.
that's what I'm saying though. Like my mom, again, just like knowing your mom's, my mom, bro. So my mom was like totally different. And at that time, my mom was like really religious. So she was like going hard hammering stuff. Bro, I was dating this chick and we couldn't be in the basement with the door closed. Like we couldn't be in the basement, like period, actually.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like, so that was just
like,
really
I know,
weird.
like, yeah, because like with my mom, she was real simple and straight to the point with it. Put a condom on if you're gonna do it, but I suggest you not do it.
See, you at least got that, bro. I didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't get that at all. Oh, you ain't about to be bringing no babies up in my house. You ain't gonna be screwing under my roof.
That came with it too.
Right.
She was like, I'm not trying to be a grandma right now. It's like, well, I mean, in my back of my head, it's like, I mean, you honestly don't know I want to be a father right now, but I'm gonna wait. You know, right. You ain't got to worry about it right now.
Yo, dog, I told you we gonna be all over the place. We gotta talk about this first tattoo. Mind you, hey, I had it covered up. Dog, I had to get it covered up, bro. Like it had been long enough. I had to get it covered up, bro. I had to.
I still remember that because mine. I mean, you can barely see it, bro, but it's there though. Like that one.
Baber, like, if you ever listen to this, bro, I want my $20 back. Okay. You scarred me for life.
Hey, to be honest, man, sometimes like that first ones you get
trash.
Be that I wouldn't even say that. It's just like it tells a story. You know?
Trash.
You can always add to it, but he was at the beginning.
Tattoos are forever trash.
Okay? He was at the beginning of his tattoo, so he probably.
And we were stupid enough to be lab rats. Okay, we were dumb enough to be like, "Oh, ink." And then look, the sad part is when I got to the crib, right? I caught myself hiding it from moms like for the first couple of days. I just happened to have like a beater on one day, and I was in the kitchen. She's like, "What is that?" And that was her response. And I was like, "Oh, I got a tattoo." And she was like, "Oh, that was dumb." And then like just walked away. I was expecting like something more cinematic. You know what I'm saying? I was really expecting to have to explain myself, where it came from, where like who did it, blah 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 blah. And I think she made like a snarky comment, like, "Yeah, if you wind up with AIDS from using needles." I was like, "Bro, you gotta chill, dog. Chill."
I mean, like luckily for me, what my first ones being was my mom. I'm mad because she actually really be like, I actually thought about getting you first, you know? So
right,
it's like, you can't get too mad about it, but at the same time, it's like, you know, being a parent, it's like, why would you do that though, you know? But at the same time, it was at a point where, like, it was somewhere where if I wore a long enough, you know, because like around that time, what was that? Like, man,
I was like, 07.
Yeah, so like the way we used to wear clothes was honestly
Totally
like
different.
short sleeve shirts was to the elbow, you know. So
it was still big. Clothes was still big in 07, bro.
Yeah, so it's not like it was really like to the point where it would just show all the time, unless I was like, oh yeah, you know, I got the ick, you know, it's my mom, you know what I'm saying, to say her name, center of my life, love you, mommy. Because that's my mom's, you know.
I'm glad that the world evolved though, because I got ink everywhere now. Well, I ain't gonna say everywhere, but I got both my forearms, both my wrists, both my, you know, my shoulders, my chest, the back of my neck. Like, you know, it's socially acceptable now. So I'm glad.
Oh yeah,
because I express myself in that way. That's personally how I express, you know, things that it may be something that I really like. It may be something that really just has a bunch of meaning. You know, like I got a tattoo, like Miles' initials and everything. Yeah, like that's really what it is. You know, so you can't knock people for it. I was gonna say now going up into my teenage years. Matter of fact, when we started going to Crossroads, dog, I never will forget the day my dad ended up being on the news, and I went to school, and I was like, fuck.
Man.
We got the same name, dog. Like, come on, you on Crime Stoppers, B. You know what I'm saying?
People think this me, man.
I'm like, no, just like even having an association. Like, and I remember it wasn't that bad, but that shit was embarrassing. That was mad, bro. That was mad embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? The way technology is, somebody look up what you locked up for in a heartbeat, and I'd be like, "Come on, dog." That was part of why I was like, you know what? I ain't going back. I was like, I ain't going back.
I feel that.
I was just like, I ain't going back. But you know, even though I'm saying all these things about my dad where he pissed me off, I still got hurt more. You know, when my dad got out of prison, because he got out like a week before I got married. He ain't coming to my wedding. That shit had me livid like for a long time. But as I grew older, man, I just learned to stop placing expectations on people. You know, I don't know what his upbringing was, so I don't know what things were valued, you know, by his father, because we don't know our history.
Yeah, and then plus on top of that, like as we get older, like you really don't really know what certain people actually go through in life. You know, there's certain stages in life that people just, it causes them to, like, I look at it like this, because like I don't look at the point where, like, say my dad was still living, and it'd be like, why was you absent? Well, it had to be a reason why he was absent. I would have to look at it and take into consideration, like it had to be a reason that had him to the point, like, I mean, it could have been shame. It could have been, you know, literally anything. But I would just have to take that in consideration. Like, you know, majority of it is his fault. That was a choice that he chose to make. But at the same time, you know, as getting older, it's just like, you did what you had to do. Yeah, you did what you had to do, and you tried to do the best that you could. You know,
and it's crazy because like earlier this year we had a conversation. And it made me say, forget everything that I thought bad about you in the past. And I told him that, you know.
Just because you forgave him.
It was simply that he said two things. He told me that he was proud of me. And he said, I felt that I did my job as a father. He said, you know, regardless of everything that happened with my dad, I felt that my dad did his job, you know, whatever that was. And he said, I feel the same with you. So he said, I'm proud of you. You never have to question that. And then he said, because I was thinking about moving back home. There's the position that I'm in now. There was, like I told you, we opened a bank in downtown Detroit. And I had been talking about it for years. Even people in Minnesota had been talking about, hey, we're about to build a cafe in Detroit. Like, do you want to go back? Like, do you want to apply for it? Do you want to be a coach? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nah, man. Like an arrow, I don't fly backwards, dog. Like, that's been my motto. Like, I don't, you know, once I'm removed from the mirror. But long story short, he said, don't come back here. And he said it just like that. I was telling him about it. He was just like, don't come back here. And at that point, I'm like, he must have something going on in his mind to where he understands something, because what other reason would he have to go out of his way to actually say that to me? Point blank, you know.
He obviously see what's in you, the potential that he never had. So he's seeing the growth that you're getting to that he never really got to. So it's just like he want to see you do better. You know what I'm saying? So
and that's why I respect him, you know, because like, you know, at this point I just turned 31. My dad,
bro, you getting old, man.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. I felt it too. I woke up, shit. My knees like, hey, put the brakes on them. But no, like, I really started to own that part of it. Like, bro, don't focus on what it was. And you know, I have, my sister died in 2017. I don't even think you knew that. So one of my sisters died then. Man. I grew up with primarily sisters. You know, my oldest brother, he don't have nothing to do with us, you know.
Tell me, dog.
But it's just like, don't none of that matter, bro. Like, I had relationships with my siblings that I do have. Like, I just started to change the narrative. Like, I talk about that like in my intro, like, together we can change the narrative. I really believe in that. I really believe in all of this positivity stuff. I really believe in, you know, saying screw our circumstances, screw those previous versions or previous chapters of our lives, you know, where we were then. They don't dictate now, they don't dictate the present, and they don't dictate the future. I hate when people say like, oh, you know how I am. That is such a pep, dog. That is such.
Man, like, if anything, I look at it like you're limiting yourself to what you think you could be, because you're not thinking more of what you actually, because you don't even realize, because you got to look back to how in the days before everybody was literally here. Like, I don't know what, no, I'm more of a certain type of person that looks from where I come from.
Yeah.
Not even just from me and my family, but, you know, generations behind. You know, it's just like, you look at how they had nothing and they made something. And if they didn't, if it wasn't like much of what we would think is something, they actually built, they created a lifestyle of what most people would feel like, oh, I can't do that. It's because they're limiting themselves. I actually was listening to a podcast. It was with Stephen Furtick. He's a pastor and everything, but like, I was actually listening to this today, and then he was saying like, a lot of times, like with the, most people need to just, they need a new roof, because they put themselves, they limit themselves to the roof of their life. They don't think that they can go past that. Like, they just feel like, oh well, since everybody I know is at this point, I can't go higher than that. You know what I'm saying? But you just you're your own person. You have your own path. Yeah. You have your own drive to be able to get you to where you really need to want to get to, but you got to be the one that got to believe it. If you don't believe it, then you really can't make it happen. I ain't want to, I ain't want to lead you to saying like, you know, if you don't believe,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, let's go to that. But
if you can believe.
But yeah, because like the type of person that I am, man, it's like a lot of times, or it was a lot of situations where I literally had nothing compared to what everybody that was around. But The same with you. And it's just like, you know, the way we came up, it was just like everybody else had more of this, more of that, or they had a car at a certain age, or we didn't have a
Yeah,
car, we still hitting the bus, or we're still walking or riding a bike. You know what I'm saying? Doing what we had to, was getting there. We was taking
right.
our little baby steps, but they was getting straight to it. But that didn't limit us
Do you
to being
remember?
like,
Do you remember the day in the BMW when I pulled
bro.
the BMW out the backyard?
Duh.
Do you
Hey,
remember
what you?
that?
It's crazy because like as soon as you mentioned it, I remember the accident of that day.
You said what?
You remember the accident of that day?
Bro, look, that's my whole point. Okay. My dad left his BMW to me before he went to prison. And I called myself stunned. I had no L's, barely knew how to drive, and this car didn't have no brakes.
Man,
hey,
man. Hey, but me in the passenger seat though.
hey, look, just to paint this picture, y'all. This was like a 1987 BMW, like a 735. It won a 740. No, I won a 745.
I don't know. I just remember that joint was silver or gray. One of them joints.
No,
I think it was like silver though.
yeah, it's like a silverish gray. The
Yeah.
whole passenger side back door was like rusted, like damn near all the way through. I'm like, hey, I'm about to pick up the fellas. We finna roll out like a Kendrick Lamar video. All right, we finna roll out to the city. So I hear him. He's in the passenger seat. I don't check the air in the tires or nothing. So as I
just get in it. You got the keys, and we ready.
I think that was like Shawasi and Beach, dog, where it's like a flashing light. And I was hitting the brakes, and I was like, "Oh shit, there ain't no brakes in here." So then I started like pumping it to get it to slow down, like just enough, and then like hit the e-brake, and we hit the corner, and it drifted at that point because there wasn't enough air in the tire.
Tokyo drift.
Dog. No, then we end up on like 10 Mile in Southfield. We end up like taking Theotis home or something stupid. Like I had like a 15 in the trunk that didn't have no amp. It was all bad, bro. It was bad.
You know, it's crazy because I actually got my first speaker amps from YouTube.
Yeah, the light up ones, the dual joints.
Hey, you know, it's crazy. I never got it hooked up though.
What?
But I had the mindset like I'm about to get this joint hooked up in this little '96 money. I'm about to have this joint rocking all that. But I never got to it though because the money broke down. You know, bro. I was pissed too. I'm like, dog, it had chicken nuggets all in there. It's a whole story to them speakers that those speakers have been through too. But I had in my head, like I had it, man. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot that came with just it's a long story. Wow. That's all I'm saying.
That's wild. That's wild.
That's probably the reason why them joints weren't working the way it should work.
You
either way,
fool.
Man, that was it.
So like that was all fun, but tell me more about this current chapter of your life. Like what made you? I know we discussed you liking, you know, the positive communication, the positive conversations, the self-improvement conversations. What inspired you, or what really made you get to that point? Like what, you know?
Well, like if anything, it's like I look at how myself, like with myself, I like see myself as somebody like the jack of all trades. You know, I try to do literally any and everything that I can do. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't limit myself to one thing that I can do. So like when it comes to it, it's like, you know, it's been driving me in different neighborhoods and stuff like that. But it was a point in my life, I think I was like, I want to say I was 24. And my great grandmother, before she passed, man, she was a real historic moment. Like, well, if anything, like she's part of the reason why I was fat when I was a kid. Because like I used to love going to her house. Like Thanksgiving was just great. You know, she cooked everything that I wanted. You know, she made me feel so special, man. And
family, man. Not like it.
Man, I'm telling you, man. And like, it was a point of time, man. She was just telling me, like, you know, I feel like God told me that you was gonna be a pastor. But in my head, I'm like, the things I'm doing now, I don't feel like I could be a pastor, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, I started like thinking deeper and deeper into it, like over the years and over time and stuff. And it was just like I felt like it was like more to that of what she was really trying to
Yeah.
just tell me and stuff. So it's just like the more I started like looking into it and stuff like that, it was just like maybe she was trying to tell me like I was meant to be a positive speaker, you know, somebody
Yeah.
that could be able to help others, you know, and things like that. And it was just like I've always been that type of person because of what I went through. I've always thought positive thoughts, like just being able to just
Factual.
get out there and just being able to get out there in the world and have nothing but make something out of it. You know what I'm saying? Even if it wasn't much with me in my life, it was baby steps and it was breadcrumbing into the next step of my life. Like literally everything that I had in my head that I was thinking, it was like I made it happen. And it was just like just the positivity and
Cause you nasty.
the
I heard what you said.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, when I was younger, man, I was wild. I was wilding out,
You
man. I did
ignorant,
all
man.
types of things, and honestly, I don't regret it. I mean, because you
Yeah.
know, a lot of the stuff that and a lot of people that I came across, you know, they taught me lessons. You know, I also once came across something that they said like, um, they was like, the world is a university, and every person that you come across is a teacher. So make sure you get out there and you learn something, you know.
Ooh, wow.
So that's certain types of stuff that you know I come across every day are omens that you know come into the
Yeah.
world that I come across that teach me, you know, and I that teaches me, and I try to learn something new every day, even if it's not every day, because you know sometimes it's in life, you know, you just be like, well, I'm not actually trying to actually
Yeah.
learn that because you never know. You know, it could be certain things that you don't want to learn, but
Yeah.
you
Sometimes it'd be
will be taught.
manifestations
Yeah,
too. Yeah, like the stuff
and
that we end up, you're talking about those omens, they be manifestations, and that's what I'm
it
learning.
really
Like
is.
a lot of this journey has been like me claiming these things, like me claiming that I'm gonna shatter those limitations that other people set. You know,
Cause like that's another thing too. Cause I came across something else, and it was just like and mind you, when I say I keep coming across things, it's actually God telling me things. And because I'm a
yeah,
real spiritual person, you know, I
yeah,
have my own personal relationship with God, and He gives me these omens, either rather if it's through song or a person, you know, a place, whatever, you know, it's just certain things that I come across or certain people I come across and they teach me these things because you know I'm out here in class every day. I'm learning every day.
right.
I'm humble enough to know that there's still majority of things that I need to learn literally every day. But yeah, man, it was just like oh man, I don't know, man. It's a lot that things that because like starting like now, like I go to work 6 days a week
Right.
and I'm listening to podcasts or you know certain messages that are on YouTube, like just like motivation. I'm trying to keep my mental, like my mindset, way on the positive side because anything negative, I usually try to. I mean, if
Disown
I
it.
feel like I can, I mean, I don't usually try to disown it because you know everybody needs help in a way, you know. So it's like I try to do my part in it, but if there's nothing that I could literally do to be able to help or fix that situation, then that's between you and God because I can only do what I can do.
Yeah.
You know, obviously I came across your path to be able to put my part into it, you know, but that's me being my teacher into the world, you know. But
Yeah.
it's I don't know, man. It's just like when it comes to like I manifest literally because not only because like with me being a spiritual person, you know, me having my relationship with God, you know, He knows my thoughts. Like He knows
Right.
certain things that I would think of that I haven't even told Him. Because you know, I have like it would be crazy because like I'm type person like I would not only speak on good times and bad times. I speak
Right.
on like just random thoughts. Like,
Yeah.
man, it's crazy. Why is gas so expensive, man? Can I just get like a 3 cent cheaper? Yeah, and it's crazy because like today, this is wild because today I was on my way to work. I work at FedEx, so I was on my way to on my route, and when I was riding past this one gas station that I usually go to all the time, but I was riding past this gas station and gas was like 307. And then as soon as I finished my route and I'm on my way back, gas was like 306. But then later on in the day, it went to like 305. It's like, how is gas is dropping a cent over the course of hours? And it's like, it ain't never did that. So it's like certain things like that. It's like with me manifesting what I want in life, being positive and like helping others when I can. Cause I do certain little things, to try to help certain people. But I don't speak on that because that's between me and my course of life. But it's like I feel like with the way that I'm thinking, it's guiding me on this road of where I need to be. So I'm being put in places that I feel like I'm supposed to be there. So if I end up in that place where I feel like I'm supposed to be there, I put myself in that position to be able to touch and be that person and do what I need to do that God called me to be in that place.
Yeah.
But like that's
I
why
call
I
it
don't like
tapping
when it
into
comes
his
to
gifts
like
for us. Like that's what I call
exactly,
it.
exactly,
Just
exactly.
being willing to do the work to find what the gift is and finding the time and mindset to operate within it. Which is kind
Mm-hmm.
of, like, because like I said, dude, I'm not religious anymore. I'm not. I'm very spiritual. I'm very in tune with my spiritual side, but I don't limit myself to religion because that's why even doing this, like, bro, when I say stuff like, I'm all inclusive, like I'm hoping to have, um, an audience, you know what I'm saying, from the LGBTQ community. I want to have some white people on here. I want to have, like, especially being here in Arizona, like, I want to have somebody that's native here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just,
Yeah, you don't want to just limit yourself to
no, man, I
what
don't. Like,
characterize a person. It's just it's for everybody, literally everybody. It's not about because on the outside, yeah, we're different, but on the inside, we're actually literally connected in a way.
yeah,
So it's like, if anything, it's just like most people are so judgmental on, oh, your skin is too dark, or you do things that I don't do, or you make decisions that I wouldn't make. And it's like you can literally live your own life. Do what you want to do. I won't judge you. That's not between me. I mean, I could put an opinion on it, but that don't mean nothing.
that's the
It
other reason I
literally
want to
don't
do
mean
this,
nothing.
man. Like, I want it to be cool. Like, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Like, this was literally a genuine thought in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be cool to be unapologetically me. And I want people to feel
Exactly.
that. Like, suicide is like such a big part of the suicide rate is people just not feeling that they belong.
Mm-hmm.
People feel that what they're feeling, they're the only person feeling it. They've never felt it before. And when they do feel it, they go into a dark place. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And
they really
they
don't
let
know.
that dark place control
It
their whole
consumes.
mindset.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
consumes. Like, the darkness, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to identify the darkness, you don't know how to navigate out of it. You don't know how to avoid it, you know? So like when I
Mm-hmm.
tell people like, yo, I've struggled with depression. I've struggled with suicide. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all things that are real conversations that people need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Especially young people. My audience is us, our age group, but I also I want to be able to reach out to the young people. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the
Yeah.
ones, the
They're the future.
12 to 18-year-olds, you know what I'm saying? Those are the ones that are really getting it. They really going through it. You know what I'm saying? They face so many changes with COVID, schooling,
Mm-hmm.
peers, all of that. Like, not to mention the everyday stuff that we do deal with. Like you spoke of, like the stuff that you don't have. I know a little homie that was bullied because he has an Android phone and not an iPhone. Like, to me, that's bonkers. Like I would
It
never
really
think
is
kids
though.
out here like
Because that's just
bullying
like
people.
me and you. You got an iPhone, I got an Android. You know,
I
you're
actually
good with
have
what you're
both.
good at. Oh, let's see,
I
you getting too much money
actually
for me,
have both.
man.
No, no, no.
I only just got what I got, and I'm
Let
cool
me
with that.
clarify. Let me clarify. Okay. I had an Android. I had an S10 before I got the iPhone 12. I still have that S10 and I will switch that memory card back the first time I get pissed off at Apple. I made sure it stays up to date and all of that. Okay. But no, man, on the serious, like on the serious note, like that's really that's what I'm getting from this. And like I shared with you off camera, like it's tough because when you don't like when you go into it, you have the greatest of intentions and you're saying like, oh, I'm not doing this for likes. I'm not expecting people to share and do all of this, but blah, 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 blah. The reality of it is like just naturally because we see what success is around us, especially like with podcasts, with digital things like TikTok and Instagram Reels and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like you inadvertently place that expectation on yourself and the product that you're pushing. But
Exactly.
you have to stand fast. Like I shared it again, like the toughest thing that I've noticed with doing this is being consistent with sharing the content. Like even now, like I'm to a point to where even though the podcast is on Apple Podcasts, even though it's on our RSS feed, I haven't put myself on a strict enough schedule to where I'm gonna say, hey, this is the day that I'm doing content. This is the day the next episode is gonna be released. So it's like, am I like I'm standing in my own way is what I'm getting to because I'm not giving a consistent product. So that's the most difficult part. It's not necessarily finding something to talk about, you know, as much as it is just doing it. Like that willpower, that psych, like, oh, it's okay, I'll do it tomorrow. No, you won't. You won't do it tomorrow. And then before you know it, it's a week later, and then you're like, oh man, I really gotta put something out there. And it's like, no, just work on the intangibles, you know, keep focusing on the psyche. Everything else will come with it. And at the end of the day, like just like preaching, just like church, you know what I'm saying? When they do the call to when they do the altar prayer, the call to the altar, you know, most pastors they come out and they say what? You know, I'm only trying to reach one. I need one. You know what I'm saying? And I think about these podcasts like that as well. Like, I just need to reach one person.
That's all it takes.
I need somebody to hear this.
Yeah, because I mean, if anything, you just want to connect to one person that can relate to the same situation you've been through, if not worse, you know, and be able to know like they can be guided to a whole better place. All they got to do is just change from where it started from.
Yeah.
You just can't let the negative and the dark place control where you are and where you're going to be. Because where you came from do not define the person that you are and where you could go. Just because somebody else couldn't make it there don't mean that you can't. That's all that it really leads to.
Now let me throw you a curveball because I know we've been at this over an hour and I don't like to hold you forever. I'm trying to get better at that part. I honestly am.
That's cool.
When the next time you trying to get back on here, bro? When the next time you trying to get on here and talk your talk? Like I know you getting used to doing this. Like I'm gonna challenge you when you think about doing this again.
Honestly, bro, it really don't matter to me. We can do this again tomorrow. We can do this every day. Because each person that we could reach to be able to show that, especially from the starting point from where we come from, to be able to build a foundation and actually reach higher than our roof from where we come from and make it actually happen, just from the consistency and the dedication and commitment of it, bro. If I gotta call you every morning, bro, I don't care. It don't matter to me, man.
But you know, I feed
my...
off that, man. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I tell Keanu all the time, like we need people with similar aspirations. Because that motivates me. You know what I'm saying? When you you know what I'm saying, when you sent me that message the other day, I had to save it initially because I was driving. But once I read it, I'm like, damn, like who I would have never guessed that the one person that heard it, you know what I'm saying, was gonna be you. I would like and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but like
I mean,
again,
yeah, I mean, I feel you. You know,
like
it might be
inadvertently,
misinterpreted by other people, but you know,
yeah,
I feel you where you're coming from because you know our what we've had, you know, in all the different directions that we went to. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I get what you mean by that.
No, man, but I sincerely like I think, you know, as you build your own content and your own brand, I feel like, dog, yeah, the sky's the limit, bro. Like,
It
and even
really
then,
is,
you know what
man.
I'm saying?
And it's just crazy how you can actually like if you really feel it's a lot of times in life where there's a little whisper in the back of your mind that always leads you back to, oh, this is that thing, this is that one thing that you need to go back to.
Yeah.
This is what you are, you know. Because like I actually when I was in high school, I really didn't really have like that hobby or that skill or you
Hell no,
know
man. We are just trying to survive, dog. You know what I'm saying? We had our
that's all, you
circumstances
know.
and yeah, we were both in survival mode. Like I said, bro, you took it and ran with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was mad proud of y'all when y'all got y'all first place together. Like, bro, that's like
Man,
pure motivation. You know what I'm saying?
man, and it's crazy too, because like when me and Kenny, man, we was wilding it. I ain't gonna lie.
My whole
That
problem
was
was y'all ain't never had no food in the refrigerator.
a
We we was doing
that's
stupid stuff like drinking 40s. Remember that night, dog, when we like had the contest who was gonna kill them Bud Ice? Horrible decision.
yeah.
Horrible decision.
I mean, you gotta look at it like this. We was like 18, 19, like shit,
How do we
but
even get those
like
40s? Because we weren't old enough to even drink.
I mean, that's you know stuff we
Certain
shouldn't.
stores, then yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah. So
arts.
we
Arts.
just the best pizza though. I ain't even gonna hold
Arts.
that was the spot, man. That was literally the spot,
Yeah.
man. Cold spot.
No man, yeah,
But yeah, man.
yeah,
It was
it's
just those were the you know once we got in there, it was just like we were being introduced into our adult stages. So it was like, well, I mean, we was in the bachelor stage, so it was like, I mean, we both was working in restaurants, so it was just like we had food that we would make there and bring it home, but then we never thought about
you
company.
had
So it
company.
was just like,
Yeah.
hey, bro, it was a McDonald's up the street. If you're hungry, go grab your
As many noodles as I had at Jared Crib, like I had the expectation that you were gonna like reciprocate the same thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna be good. They got like some noodles or something.
nah,
No,
because
I remember
I'm
like y'all ain't
at,
even had no hot sauce in the like y'all ain't had no hot
we
sauce in
had
the crib.
all we had was drinks in the refrigerator
I was pissed,
and food and like leftover food that we had from at work. You know what I'm saying? So it
pissed.
was just more of a, you know, I don't know, man. It was great times, man. It was literally great times. It was like
Bro,
the
we
great
had
2 years
plenty of great
of
times
my
out there.
life, to be
Come on,
honest.
bro. Come on now. Them was like really all-star years, bro. 2010, 2K10 came out. D Rose. You know what I'm saying? With D Rose had one MVP. I was bussing Kenny with the Bulls, bro. I remember
Hey,
that.
but you know what's crazy though? What actually led, I feel like what led me to those apartments was, you know, back in 2004, like way before that, you know, me, Dizelle, Jared, Theotis, Josh, we used to always go up there like every day in the summertime. 2004, man, we used to go up
Hood
there go
rat
swimming.
stuff.
Man, we was out there, you
I
know.
just want to do hood rat stuff with my friends.
This is when I was actually dating Tierra. I don't know if you remember her, but
Oh
you
yes.
know,
Well,
back around that
don't throw
time,
no last names out there, but yeah,
oh
I know
no,
what
we
you're
know, I
talking
know, I'm not
about.
gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because, like, you know, around that time, man, I met her when I was working at the golf course that was like
They remember the golf course. Yeah.
damn near next door, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like different stages in my life that was leading me to places where I literally need to be, man. I'm telling you, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's
And
wild.
that's off of, you know, what's in my mind, being positive, staying focused, and just following that path. You know, you got to stay what's in your head because you can't just listen to what somebody else tell you. What somebody else tell you,
That's
that's just
factual.
something they want you to do. You know, but you got to follow what you know. Only God is telling you what you need to be and what you need to do.
That is factual,
man. And it's crazy, man, because around them times I used to go over there, me sneaking up in there. What's up, yeah, man? Shouldn't have been there, but I was there. And, it was cool. Wild. It was cool, man. She helped me, mentally too, because she was around when I was a chubby guy, and she taught me some lessons that.
You talking about chubby? He wasn't never like chubby. He wasn't never.
Man, I mean, bro,
he wasn't never full blown chubby.
Dog. You would have to see some earlier days.
He was never full blown chubby. Don't let this man sit here and lie to you.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
The man eats whole boxes of pizza. Man, I'm not trying.
That's now. That's different. That's different. No, I'm talking about like back when my great grandma, the one that used to make me all the favorite foods that I used to like.
Trying to make it seem like he was morbidly obese. He was never like.
I ain't saying I was like.
That's the way you trying to make that seem like. You trying to make it seem like, I was bigger than Fia at one point. Like, no.
I mean, I ain't saying I was like overweight type thing. It was just like for my frame. I was I mean, technically, I'm still overweight because that's what my BMI says. But I don't listen to that. Only I can characterize.
BMI stands for baby mama index. That's all BMI stands for now. That's all BMI stands for. All right, so chill.
I mean, if anything, it was just like now, I'm comfortable with my age, weight. I'm about to be 32 in about. It's almost October.
As I say, damn near 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, November around the corner, man. I was born on Thanksgiving, so that's how I know that. Well, I knew that I was gonna end up being how I was because Thanksgiving is a great time of the year.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. It's a thankful time. It's a grateful time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my mama used to call me a turkey baby because I was born on Thanksgiving. And she was actually pissed at me because that was the day I chose to come out. And she had to eat hospital food. But, it's all a blessing, man.
Ain't nothing like leftover ham. I ain't gonna lie. Like, don't
you throw that in the mic and you put on a sandwich and you good to go.
I can't bang it now, but it's for sure legit.
I still would, I don't, because I'm the type of person that, I'm very humble, so I was still.
So you still on that seafood diet, huh?
Nah.
Yeah, you still able to seafood and just eat it. That's your diet.
Honestly, technically now, I honestly don't really eat as much fast food too, because like I cook one meal, eat that for a whole week.
First of all, don't tell nobody else that, because 3 days and it's out, 3 and out rule. Okay, so don't tell nobody else. Don't come on no televised station talking about you eat the same food for a week. That's probably why the boy stay skinny. Because
to be honest, I weigh 190 pounds, but I wear well because of the way that I mean, don't get me wrong though. There's a couple days out the week I still, like today, I went and bought me and the kids some pizza. I ate majority of the pizza. I still left 3 left.
I can't stand skinny mofos like you, dog. I haven't been 190 probably since like the 6th damn grade. Like probably when I first met you, I was 190. And you used to know, I'm 190 technically.
Hey, 190 for my height. Because you got to look at it like this. You're taller than me. You're probably like 2-3 inches taller than me. I'm like 5'10". I don't know where you at right now.
I'm 6 foot. I'm 6 foot 305. I gain weight. Sorry, America.
Well, look here, man. That's you comfortable. That's all that matters. You still waking up every day. You still strong. You still doing exactly what you want to do because you're making yourself do it. It ain't about how much I weigh. It ain't about how much you weigh. We all both and everybody still doing exactly what we want to do and how we want to do it. It ain't about how somebody else see you. If somebody else see you a certain way, that's between them and them. How you see yourself is. I don't want to hear that. That's between you and you. Like I said, like the way I see myself, I mean, I see myself and I feel like I could do better, but I don't care about all of that. As long as I'm still able to, wake up, stretch, and
Yeah.
I don't feel no pain and all of that. I'm cool
Embracing
with
the
that.
journey, bro. Embracing the journey. That's what
all
all
it
it
is.
comes
That's
down
all
to.
it really is, man.
But yeah, man,
Yeah,
let's do this again, bro. Like, let's really do this again. I feel like this was great. Like, this was fun.
This
It's
is
always
fun, man. I enjoy it, man. This
That's
is
why
actually my first.
I be telling people, like, bro, it's easy. Like, especially like I just believe in transparency, vulnerability, like intentional decision making, intentional conversations. Like, I truly buy into this. Like, I truly, truly believe this. And I feel like if this does nothing more for you than to show you, like, hey, I actually can do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, if that's
whenever,
all you get from this, I know I did something great.
Whatever you put your mind to, man, you just gotta stay and stick to it. That's all it comes to it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, I honestly, like, majority of my motivation nowadays, you know, first and foremost, my daughter, my baby girl. I hate saying that because, you know, we having like the best of both worlds, like a boy and a girl.
It's
I don't
different.
like to like.
It's
I don't
levels
want to
to
like
it.
make it. Yeah, I don't want to make it seem like I'm singling my son out. I literally don't, because I want him to be like me. Because I say he have a daughter. I want him to be able to understand, like, you gotta be able to put your woman first. You know what Jaheim say? You know, in this song back in the days, and it was at the 90s. Yeah, put your woman first.
What
You know,
Jaheim look like? You better chill.
hey, I mean, look, man, I'm trying to. I got the braids and
Rough,
stuff,
rough.
like, you know, it could be not, you know, but
rough, rough.
but like, if anything, it's just like, you know, like with my girl, you know, my daughter, my baby girl. I want to see her, and I want her to be stronger than me. I want her to be a very strong woman. You know, she's a mixed kid. She's half black, half Puerto Rican, you know, and I want her to
already see
benefit
it in
from
her. You already see it in her, though, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I see a lot of
no. That's ignorant.
Like, when you're a kid, when you're your dad, man, you see all of you and your kid.
You know what's crazy? I was gonna mention that earlier.
Both sides of it, though.
I was gonna mention that earlier a little bit. I was talking with my mom when I interviewed her, and I was talking about how I realized that genetics is not only looks. The genetics, like the genetic makeup of us as individuals, it actually does come down mentally as well. We tend to think like our parents, and it's not necessarily from exposure. We see things from ourselves and our children because that's a part of genetics. That's genetics. That's a part of genetics. But that's amazing. That's it really takes parenting into a whole nother dynamic when you think of it that way, though.
Yeah.
Because we like coming up, man, we just hear you look like your mom, you look like your daddy, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you act just like your mom, you just act like your daddy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We hear that, but like there's so much more behind that. So I hope you're looking at it that way. But like knowing her journey, you know what I'm saying, her being a preemie, you know what I'm saying? I knew what that felt like a little bit because my little sister was. Janiyah was a preemie on like 2 pounds, 6 ounces. So that was a journey, you know. So she's a survivor, man. She's a fighter. Like every day is like a blessing.
It scared me, man. Like that first day, man, it literally scared. I cried the day that I had her in my arms because she was so little, man. It was just like, you know that movie, Boys in the Hood, how you just punch one. Man, I just wanted to tear the world up just because she was so small. Man. It's like I felt like it was my fault.
You just didn't understand. Like,
yeah. But you know, like every day, every month, you know, she's getting bigger. She's 2 now, and it's just like, man, she's becoming what she was supposed to be and what she was gonna be. So it's like I was just looking at the negative side of it. I never really paid attention to the positive. Like
most of this is
everybody is different.
Bro.
Yeah.
Most of this journey is perspective.
Because like my son, man, he came out how he was supposed to, and it was like
King came out looking just like you, dog. Like, bro, like,
man,
it is weird. It is.
What's crazy is he's acting a lot like me, but at the same time, you know, with him just being 5 now, you know, he's just learning, you know, and he's a real smart kid, man. He's learning at his pace. I'm not rushing him or nothing. You gonna learn how you gonna learn
Yeah.
at your pace, because I learned at my pace. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to force him to learn faster. I want him to be able to learn it and let it stick. So it's just
I
like,
commend
man,
you for that, bro. Let me leave out with this because I did want to make sure I mention this. This is factual. Okay. The father absence crisis in America. Okay. It says, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, 18.3 million, 1 in every 4, live without a biological step or adoptive father in the home. Consequently, there's a father factor in nearly all of the social ills facing America today. Research shows when a child is raised in a father-absent home, he or she is affected in the following ways. Boy, I'm telling you, my stutter comes out every year
it's
more
all
and
right.
more.
It don't even matter.
Fatherless or father-absent homes, those that grow up in those homes have 4 times the greater risk of poverty, 7 times more likely to become pregnant as a teen, more likely to have behavioral problems, more likely to face abuse and neglect, 2 times greater risk of infant mortality, more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol, more likely to go to prison, 2 times more likely to suffer obesity, more likely to commit crime, and 2 times more likely to drop out of high school. And that's not a Black thing. That is a statistic for all homes based in America. Now, if you want to be technical and break down those things, that's something totally different. We'll say that for another segment. But I wanted to share that because there's power in awareness, and I say that to everyone that's out there that's a father. Take that job serious because these are real statistics. These are real people that are being affected. And you may have the greatest of intentions, when deciding that something doesn't work for you or, whatever happens to where you're not going to be absent. But I challenge each and every one of you to go beyond that. Find a way, find a way to stay in that child's life.
Exactly.
Mothers, try and make sure. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, with you mentioning that, I actually, I've created 2 kids, but I also actually have 3 other kids.
Absolutely.
And I actually love all 5 of them the exact same way, because I've been in their lives for a long enough time to see them through different stages. And I still teach them a lot to this day. They may not listen to me, but in the back of their mind, just like how I grew up, in the back of their mind, that's my whisper, just like, be there, be at that point, listen to that, it'll get there, things are going to lead you to whatever that's going to lead you to where you need to be, but just keep an open ear. I don't want to put them out there like that until I talk to them, because I don't want them to be like, oh, you threw me out there under the bus. Like, no, but they still my babies,
Right.
Rather if they're like, one of them is like pretty much grown now, she 18 now, but she started off as my first best friend before I even had my own kids.
Yeah.
Even though at first she ain't really mess with me. Yeah, I mean, she ain't really mess with me at first though.
It's typical.
But it's all cool though. Yeah. I worked to that, and the one under her, she was the exact same way, but a little bit. She's more of a nosy kind, so she would be like, okay, let me see what he about, and she was just like, okay, he seemed cool, so I'm cool with him. Yeah. And then, the youngest of the 3 that I didn't create that are still my kids, he was a baby, so it was just, well, he wasn't a baby, but he was still a baby.
He's young. Yeah,
pretty much like
he's young. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, he's young.
Yeah, I mean, well, he 10 now, so this is crazy how time fly, and you try to teach and instill into these kids everything that you can with them, and they're only going to learn what they're going to learn. And it takes a village. It literally takes a village. I've always really just looked at it like, I want to be the one to teach my kids everything they need to learn. I can't do that. because there's certain stages that I can't reach to that they can be able to understand more from somebody else.
Yeah,
but if anything, man, like I would never deny not no one of them. There's 5 of them, and then I'm trying to be the best that I can do and do the best that I can based off of where I came from and what I can do, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like you gotta stick to it. You can't let it go. I just honestly don't get how you could just be at a point where you could just be like, oh, I'm done, man. I'm good on that. Like
it's because we focus on so much. We focus on so many other things. We forget the children. We get so lost in the sauce. We feel like, it's just a kid. That's just a kid. When in reality, like, we need to be embracing that kid. We need to be thinking about that kid. Not necessarily saying to stay in toxic situations, but be mindful of, your choices. Be mindful that your choices and your actions don't only affect you. Exactly. That's what I'm going to say to every man. We're taught up, and there's this like misconception that we only are responsible for what we do and what we say, and we can only be held accountable for our actions. That's not true. There's a trigger.
It's really not.
It's not.
It's literally not.
That's my challenge. That's really it in a nutshell, though, man. Like, so we are gonna touch back. I'm not gonna confirm next week, but me and Mo will touch bases offline, and there'll be more to come, man. I think you're gonna be a very powerful speaker. Like, just keep grinding, keep doing you, man. Like I said, I sincerely have enjoyed this time.
Man, it was great being here, bro. And like you're a real big inspiration, and it's like wow. This moment right now is like, especially because like, we was talking about this. It was like, man, this is crazy how our connections kind of like led together, and it was just like
again, we like after all of this time,
right? Because like we was working on our own different paths, but it was still like the same platform, and it was just like, I mean, different routes, but it's still the exact same, the same message,
just like it was before.
To get out there.
You worked at Champs, I worked at Little Caesars.
Hey, I was there too. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, you ended up there too, right? The whole squad worked at Little Caesars.
They're right. We really was.
The whole squad worked there.
Man. Good times, man. But yeah, we definitely got to do this again, though, for real. Man.
Yeah, we gonna touch back up. We gonna keep it authentic every time we on here. We come with real opinions, and the beauty of it is, like, I'm waiting for somebody to get on here. I'm hoping, like, I'm doing another segment with Kiana. I'm hoping that we talk about something to where, like, I actually get to debate somebody, because I've been like, the path's been lining up a lot. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna come with some stuff, and it's gonna be.
I'm a great debater too, man. I'm actually really known to, like, if it's something that I'm really passionate about, man. Yeah. If I have my own little opinions on certain things, and I will literally debate you down to it if it's.
We gonna get on here and talk Xbox or PlayStation one day, because I know we both can head both. So. That's gonna
rather if it was Xbox, PlayStation, ramen noodles, or spaghetti. I don't care what it is. We gonna say and we gonna talk that talk. I'm ready. So, every time.
Yeah. So it's gonna be more to come from Mo soon. Y'all check him out. You know what I'm saying? He don't have no social media right now. It's not his thing, but he gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? With this,
I'll get there.
He gonna embrace it.
Come.
Yeah.
Definitely about to get out here. I got a lot to say, and just stay tuned, man. This is me. With the stuff that I'm trying to get out here, and he got his own message that he want to be able to tell y'all that I can't reach to you. So
vice versa.
Just stay tuned. It's gonna be so much stuff that's out here. Just keep an eye open, keep an open mind, stay blessed, stay positive.
And improvement. Yeah, man. That's it. Exactly. That's
it. Reach higher levels, man. Stop trying to limit yourself to certain limitations and feeling like you can't get there when you literally can. All you got to do is believe in your source.
So with that being said, that's a wrap. Shazam. That's another episode of the Safe Space podcast with DJ Big Cat. You know what I'm saying? This has been a phenomenal journey. so far, and I'm praying that I continue to have these wonderful conversations, and I continue to be blessed and inspired by wonderful people like Bo. So until then, y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yes, sir. Stay blessed.